Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this webinar on our Border B2B portal. I'm Phil at Border and I have Tavi with me as well.
Hello.
So this webinar will be a little bit shorter than the last one we did. I think we're probably going to take us about half an hour, 35 minutes. We are recording this, so if you don't have time to listen to it all, don't worry, because we'll put a recording on our YouTube channel. You're only going to be able to hear us speak. So if you do have any questions about anything we cover, just email Border Support and we'll get you the answer. So we're going to kick off really just to set the scene and then show you something and show you the portal and how it's used, and then we'll talk about how it's implemented and some pricing as well. So I'll pass over to Tavi.
Good afternoon, everyone. So first, I'm just going to cover the B2C package briefly. So Border now offer B2C, so it's business to consumer online solution. Okay. This means that we can produce, design and integrate a retail website into Counteract. So the sole aim of this website, of this B2C site, would be to generate new cash business. So we've got a few added benefits, one of which is that we've got an in-house designer who would work closely with you to create your website. We achieve this by kicking off with a conference call to run through your ideas, inspirations. So by that I mean that if you're thinking along the lines of possibly having a calculator, so you can have a wallpaper, a tiling calculator, decking calculator and so on. If you want to have the ability to request, you want to provide your customers with the ability to request a quotation, the tax switcher, so showing prices with or without tax and so on. So they're the types of ideas that we would start discussing. And then they're then translated into a design board and published onto a beta site. And the site develops as we work together to get that live. So the integration aspect covers product maintenance and order integration. So the product integration is basically the idea of you maintaining one price book. So you only have to keep the Counteract price book up to date in the normal fashion that you do normally to run your business. And any updates that you publish, so any price changes, and then depending on what you've decided to map onto your website. So as and when those fields change within Counteract, they're then pushed up to the website in an hourly fashion. It's entirely up to you how often, how frequent you want those updates to go up to your website. All of our sites at the minute have them going up every hour. But that's one of the elements that you don't have to worry about. That's all taken care by the integration. And then it's how those orders actually come back into Counteract, which is the order automation. So this is just basically promoting efficiency and accuracy. You've got all that customer information, their pricing, etc., that comes through from the website into Counteract, which you can then distribute. So it would come through as an order. You then create the customer order from that, or direct, depending on the type of order that it is, or you can split it accordingly. And then you can also have the ability to split it across branches, or have a different branch entirely supply the order. So if there's a branch closer to them, the delivery address, you can allocate the delivery to a different branch. So that's all done within Counteract. You may be wondering why we're using Magento. It's basically the most popular e-commerce platform in the world. It's scalable and it's open source. So that means that it's made up of a massive community of developers generating off-the-shelf enhancements and apps. And so that makes additions to your websites cheaper and faster. So we don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. And you have an incredible variety of extensions readily available to you. It also ensures that anything that you choose will be able to cope with mobile browsing as well as the standard desktop browsing. There's a couple of other things, the benefits obviously with going with Border. We've got the sales analysis, obviously anything that comes through into the from the website into Counteract. We have the base, all the sales analysis features are available to you. You've got a single point of contact at Border. So what that means is that you're not piggy in the middle. We have found that we did take on some integration products or projects, I should say, and we found that the customer felt as though they were in the middle of the whole process. They weren't sure who they needed to speak to get the ball rolling, to make progress and so on. So with us handling everything, you've got a single point of contact who knows how your system works, knows your product range.
So we can look after the contract side and the web development side, can't we?
Yeah.
So.
And also training has been a massive sort of advantage to us. We offer online training that's backed up with all documentation and videos. So we're able to guide you along the way. We've found that some of the integration projects haven't actually provided any training to their customers. They simply produce the site and they plonk it in front of the customer, and then they need to learn exactly how they're meant to maintain it. Whereas we kick off the training with actually explaining how you're going to start maintaining the site so that you're fully equipped with the knowledge going forward, so you're self-sufficient effectively. So it's also worth mentioning that we have, if we wanted to get a site live and you were looking for something as soon as possible, we could probably turn it around in about 3 months. So that's provided, obviously, you've got a fully dedicated team and you've got the resources to back it up. And obviously, we can dedicate our time to get you live within about 3 months.
I mean, it's worth saying it's setting up a retail cash website is quite a bit of work, even with integrated with Counteract, and you need to be prepared to put resources in to do it. But it develops as it goes along, doesn't it?
Yeah. As long as you take the time to look at your product range and make sure that everything's been set up correctly from the get-go. As it develops and as it grows, then as you have more traffic coming to your site, it makes it easier to maintain and just easier to develop. But we're here on hand.
So I would say, if you're still interested, give us a shout. And everybody's different. Everybody wants slightly different things from the site. So, we've got experience now. We've got a number of. We can show you some examples of sites that we've done, and we take it from there. But obviously, that's talking about cash business, retail sites.
New cash business. Yeah.
So the new option that obviously we've brought on board is for your account customers. So that's B2B.
Yeah. So I'll move on to that. So that's B2B phase 1. So that's business to business. So there's a couple of points here that we have incorporated into the phase 1 of B2B. The ability for your customers to log in to their account. They'll be able to make payments via this portal. The ability to fetch copy documents and view their financial information and any sort of formal quotations that they may have. They have the ability to generate a real-time statement, and they can query or dispute any invoices that are on the site that they don't quite agree with. So what I'm going to do first is show you how you would activate the portal within Counteract. So I'll just go on to, oh no. It is there, isn't it?
There it is. There it is.
We'll have that up as well. So we're interested in so I'm in Counteract, as you can see, graphical. So the first thing, as I said, you need to activate it. So you need to think about permissions. So exactly what you want to display on your portal overall to your customers. So you pop into system maintenance. So I'm in system maintenance as it is. General administration. And I'm looking at web permissions here. Oh. There it is. So these are the options. You tick them all, obviously, if you want to provide all these options to your customers. But this is where the initial control is picked up from. Okay. So once you've set that, you then have a bunch of customers that you want to provide them with access to your portal now. So you'd pop into Sales Ledger movements or maintenance, depending on what you have it named. Add amend customer details. So I'm looking for the account Nuffield. So this is the account that needs access provided. So I'd click down on more features and I'd click on web access. So as you can see here, there's a couple of people already set up, me being one of them. But if you wanted to, you'd simply click add and enter all the details and then look at their permissions. So this is currently my contact details with my email address here. And then the permissions are picked up here. So what we've got here is a second level of permissions available. So this provides you with the extra flexibility. So you're able to narrow down and restrict access on a customer by customer basis. But even within that, you've got users. Yeah. So you're incredibly flexible here. You can restrict access. So it's basically per user, per customer. And once you're happy with the settings, so I've got everything ticked. And I would just click update. So whatever email address has been entered here will be the email address that receives the login request, and they then set up their login with their password so that they can access your portal. Okay, so I'm now just going to exit that. So you just go that through your customers and so on, and set up the users as normal. I'm just going to show you what the portal will look like.
So that first set of permissions you showed was the overall set of permissions for
the entire portal, yeah.
The whole portal.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then the individual ones for the
yeah. So you may have a customer that you don't want them to view. I don't know. Maybe you don't want them to see statements.
Yes, yeah.
Or maybe you want somebody within a business. You know, somebody. They're okay to see their orders, but they shouldn't be making any payments on behalf of the company. Yeah, so you restrict that for that particular user, but then you may have an accountant that should be able to make payments and so on.
Okay.
So it's just, you have the flexibility built in. So this is what, I just clicked the link, and this is themed to our, we've got 2 demo sites running that we use for B2C, a lot of sort of reviewing of how things work and so on, and demoing. So this has been themed in tune with that. So we would copy whatever theme that you already have on a static site, say, or if you want a new theme, or if this is brand new altogether, we discuss what kind of color and font and everything you can have. So I'm now going to log in to my account, and it already has my details saved, so I'm straight in. I'm greeted with a dashboard. So here you can see all the account information at a glance. You can see the balance, the credit limit, anything that's unallocated, age balances, whatever my terms may be, and so on. So you've got all the information at your fingertips here. And
that's real time, isn't it?
This is real time. Yeah, this is real time.
Yeah.
So this would probably be one of the screens that you'd probably want to make a payment in, because you can see what exactly is outstanding. So as you click make a payment, you've got the ability to select, oh, I want to make that age balance or that one, and so on, add them together and make the payment. We don't have SagePay switched on here, so the payment wouldn't go through at that stage, but the ability is definitely there for you guys to make use of. As soon as that payment has been made, it will be reflected. Like Phil said, it is real time. As we scroll down, you can have a look. We've got orders and returns, we've got payments, and all visible on this dashboard. So I'm just going to pop into orders and returns and drill down a bit further here. So we've got a comprehensive filter at the top of the screen that you can apply if you've got a ton of results available for the customer. You can see outstanding orders here, anything that's been part. So this top one here is a recent order, 8th, that's been part supplied. So your customer's probably interested in, okay, let me double check what's been supplied and what is still outstanding. You can see all that information here. If something is still outstanding, if there's still a customer order available or a direct order that still has a status of outstanding, you can definitely view that again, or you can choose to email that to yourself by clicking the green box and filling it in. So the ability is all being built in there. I think the email feature is it's more relevant to the invoices and credits, so I'll pop over to there. So again, you have you've got all the filters available at the top here, and all your invoices and credits visible. So you're able to drill down into these invoices and see what exactly they were for, what products they were for. If there's something that the customer may not agree with, they may turn around and say they want to dispute something. So they click on the arrow, they can query an invoice or a credit, and whatever they type in here is then sent across. It's marked as disputed then, and you can either have that it will generate a notepad, and this can either come through to you via a daily overnight report, or you can run a disputed invoice reporting contract in real time. And it's worth mentioning that any disputes that are raised via this customer portal have a separate type of dispute and are classified as disputed on the web. So that's a nice little feature that's available there. So I was saying before how you can email documents to yourself, so you can select all. If there's only one or two that the customers are interested in, they can choose here to email them to themselves. So it either sends to me, so it would send to Tarveen at Border, or you can send it to account, so that'll be whatever doc email has been set against this customer account. So in our case, for example, it could be support at Border Merchant Systems. So depending on what type of document it is, you can choose where it should go and how it should email across. So that's that. It's worth saying as well, what those documents that are sent across will be formatted, but will be DB form formatted. It always looks better that way. If you don't have DB form, which is, I think, very small these days. Yeah, I don't think really it affects that many, but it would be plain text.
Yeah, I really think you probably want to have DB form, wouldn't you? I think if you really have this.
It really it makes it a whole round picture. Yeah. It looks much better to the customer and way more professional. But yeah, as I said, I don't think it really affects that many customers, so maybe a bit irrelevant. But it is DB form formatted, got your logo, your colours and everything, so it does look really neat. So I'll pop over to payments. This is just a very basic screen. You may or may not find this a screen that you want to make available to your customers. It's up to you. But it's just a payment history. So you can see what dates payments have been made and whether they've been allocated and so on. The statements. So here they can view the statements that have been generated by you as a business on a monthly basis. They're able to refine the search at the top if they want to look at 2017 statements. Obviously, we've gone a bit mad in 2018 and generated the statements ourselves. So the copies are all listed here. And so they do build up. And they can be generated in real time here. And then they will then be emailed out to the account's email address or the doc email that's on this account. If there's no doc email, it will just pick up the general email address and send the statement out to that address. We also have a quotations menu option. So here you would see formal quotations, anything that's outstanding, any outstanding formal quotations. So you can have, if you wanted to actually email this to yourself, you could tick it and email it to yourself to remind you of exactly what is on that document or that quote. Or you can have the ability, we have it switched off, it looks like, but you could drill down onto the orders, the outstanding orders, and view anything that's outstanding here. So these list of products. The same applies to quotations, so the ability would be there if you wanted to drill down and see what that quote was for and maybe chase that up. If the customer wanted to chase it up with you, that the customer would have sight of it here if they've lost the actual paper version of it.
I suppose if they want to do, you've got an option to send a quote, resend it. Do you get a dialog box up there? Do you know?
No.
You don't?
No,
just
no.
options to
yeah,
send
no,
it.
If I was to send it to me, it would, if I click send,
it would just send it, wouldn't it?
It would, and then at the top it would say which email address
right.
it's been sent to.
Yeah.
And then if they have that, they'll have that as a DB form document again.
Yeah.
And then if they want to chase that up, they can forward it on to our customer effectively and accept it or discuss it further. Okay. So yeah, it's very much in beta testing as well. I forgot to mention that at the beginning. It is actually undergoing beta testing. It's definitely version 1, and we are taking feedback as and when it's been given to us by the customers. If there's anything that you need a bit more explaining, or if there's something that isn't there, and so on, we're definitely willing to discuss that with you and see how we can incorporate that and whether other customers would find that beneficial. But yeah, it's all feedback, any suggestions definitely taken on board. Obviously, we've got contract listed at the top here. That wouldn't say contract. That would be whatever your business name is, your logo. It would be completely themed to your...
Yeah, so all your colours, all your fonts would try and make it, if you wanted to, you want it to look different, but it would make it look as...
To your brand.
To your website, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'll do, I'll log out of this now.
Okay.
And I'll pop back
Just the PowerPoint.
To the PowerPoint, so that Phil can talk about
Okay, thank you.
Scenarios.
So you've got, I suppose there's really three potential scenarios for having this and integrating with the website. I suppose the first thing to make clear is actually, as Tarvin said, it's actually a Magento website. So it is actually a separate site. So even if you were linking through to your existing website, you would have it would have a sub address, I suppose.
Subdomain.
Subdomain is the word I was looking for. Thank you. So the first, most common option we think is a link through from your existing website. So as Tarvin said, you have a account customer login, perhaps in the corner of your website, and the customer would click in there. That would take them through to a login area where they would put in their password, put in their name and password, and actually log into the portal. And the portal will look exactly the same as the website. So really, from the customer point of view, it will be integrated. It will be part of your site. And again, as Tarvin said, we'd obviously theme that to look exactly as the same. Option two is really because the portal is a Magento website. Option two is really is for us to do your new static website at the same time and have it all on the same site. So a static website really is this is who we are, this is where we are, these are the sort of products that we sell type website, and have the portal as well within that. And obviously, if you're interested in that, we could look at, depending on what you wanted, we could quote for that work. The third option is actually to have a full new website with all your static pages on, and also the portal, and also have the B2C trading website integrated within it as well. So that's really the ability for cash to generate new cash business for cash customers to go onto the site, buy products from you, put it in a basket, pay by the credit card, and as Tarvin said, for the order to flow through into Counteract. So you've got all three different options there. Obviously, they're all slightly different priced. Option 2 and 3 we'll need to discuss with you exactly what you're looking for. I think the portal is certainly a good starting point if you are thinking about web trading, either now or in the future. And because it's a Magento site, it gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility in how your site works, how it functions. And again, it will evolve in time. All the sites we've done have started off probably fairly simply and developed as they've gone along.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got a document with pricing on it, so and more and sort of information summary from this webinar. So if you're interested in it, just send support an email and we'll email it out to you. What we've done is we've costed the portal, and we really talk about option 1 here, basically in tiers. So based on the number of contract licenses you have. So really trying to make it accessible for companies of all different sizes. So if you're a small user, if you've got less than 10 licenses, you'll pay significantly less than if you've got over 100, for example. So we've tried to make it realistic for all our users. The other thing to be aware of in terms of pricing, if you want customers to be able to pay their account online, you'll need to sign up with a payment gateway, something like an online payment gateway, something like SagePay. But and we could certainly help you along with that process. Again, not particularly expensive to do that. And the other area to be aware of is if it's an SSL certificate, and if you're going for the option for a portal link from your existing website, you'll need an SSL certificate for the new site. Again, we can give you costing for that. We're not talking a huge amount of money.
We're a SagePay reseller as well, so we can sort all that out for you.
In terms of costing of the site, there's a cost of one-off site, cost to set the site up, and any additional areas that you want integrated, and then there's a maintenance fee to basically keep the site running, any additional changes we make as well. And I would say that this is, as Tarvin said, this really is phase 1. So companies that get on board early will obviously benefit from updates that we make to this phase 1 of the system, and will obviously have probably more of an influence in the way that the portal develops. We're going to talk about what's going to come along in phase 2 in a minute, but I will say that if you get on board on phase 1 and you take this sort of account management admin type functionality, when the new facilities come on phase 2, which will be chargeable, you'll certainly get those cheaper than if you wait and have both of them together. So that was phase 1, and it very much is phase 1, and I'm sure will develop in time. But we do have a roadmap for really B2B phase 2 as well. So I thought what we did at the user meeting was we discussed sort of very briefly what our thoughts were for that. And again, this will develop as we go along.
Yeah, it got split up into two as well, the roadmap, which is why we're doing part one, and part two was covered by Denise in the first webinar.
Yeah, yeah.
And at the user meeting,
So,
Denise
yeah.
covered it.
So roadmap phase two was more sort of general contract, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
logistics and whatnot, yeah.
Okay, so these are some of the things that we're really thinking about coming along in phase two. So as I said, phase one really is more based around administrative features within the system. Allowing people, account customers, to look at information, get copies of invoices and statements, pay a bill. What we're talking about phase two is really the ability for you to generate additional business or generate or manage your customers. So we want the ability for an account customer to go online to the portal and place an order with you, and at their pricing. And as that slide says there, pricing really does throw up many challenges, and it's an area that we've been discussing internally at great length, and we did talk about it at the user meetings as well. But obviously you need your account customers to be able to go online, buy products, and obviously know that they're going to be getting their pricing based on their customer terms. Obviously, a customer goes online and places orders in a basket, and then the invoice, they'll want to be able to choose where they have them delivered, or they obviously want to collect them from the branch, from one of your branches. So we'll need to build in click and collect facilities as well. And also we'll need to bring in facilities to manage orders that have been already taken online as well. And again, these are all being talked about at the moment, and are certainly in the roadmap for first half of this year, really, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the pricing that's the that's the major hot topic, because it's thinking, when do we fetch those prices? Are we fetching, is that customer, do they have customer terms on all the prices that they have, or all the products listed on the website? Are they all going to be fetched in real time all the time, or is it just when they go into the basket they'll have their particular terms applied? How much information is it going to become pulling back and forth? So what's going to work best? We're definitely open to suggestions and any discussions that you guys want to have. But yeah, that's the main sort of feature that we're trying to sort of clarify, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, we want as many users as possible to take advantage of this technology. It is obviously the way things are. We all buy stuff online these days, and we'll expect to be able to manage our accounts and things online. So it is certainly the way the way the world is moving. Phase one, as we said, is very much phase one, and we've priced it hopefully to be accessible to all our users. But as we develop more phase two, you're going to see more and more functionality coming into the system, and then that will generate changes into Contract itself as well, to help streamline processes, to make things as easy as possible for you to manage orders that you're taking online as well. So that's really that's what we've got now, phase one, and that's phase two is really where we're heading. That's us done for today. So say thank you very much for listening. We will be putting a copy of this on our YouTube channel for you to listen to again. If you've got any questions, or you want to have a chat in a bit more detail about what we can provide or what options we're able to do, just drop us an email or just give us a call, and we can discuss it in the future. So hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.